So just standing up nice and tall. So this morning we're going to start standing. And when we're standing, I just want you to think about just spreading out those toes and really lift those toes so that you're elongating through the foot. And you can even bend down, pull those toes out if you want to. And then the other foot, the left and right foot, press down into the heels. Really feel you're pressing into the earth and then lift up through the crown of the head. Pull the shoulders up towards the ears and let those shoulders drop down into the back. The feet are slightly apart. The hands are slightly away from, the arms are slightly away from the body, so we're not kind of cramping in. We're just allowing ourselves to release here into Tadasana, mountain pose. Spread out into the feet and then think about lifting, drawing that energy all the way up through the feet, up to the crown of the head. And then relax the shoulders. Let the eyes close. Relax the eyes. And just notice if there's any tension in the eyes, in the face. Just standing tall. This is our mindfulness and yoga class. And today we're going to bring a little bit of yin into it as well. So we're just going to hold, not all the poses, but some of the poses we're going to hold. And we're going to really allow ourselves to kind of melt into those poses. We're going to be mindful of our practice. And we're going to be mindful as always of our breath. So from here, just standing on the earth, we're going to do a little meditation, which is a meditation that you can do to ground yourself at any time. Because it's standing, so if you're standing in a big queue in Waitrose, or if you're standing at a bus stop, or if you're standing anywhere, and you just feel that you want to kind of like ground yourself and just connect into your body, this is a lovely exercise to do. So really press down into the feet and lifting up. Just be aware of your body drawing up towards the sky and almost feel yourself lifting out of the waist of your trousers as you lift up and you feel that crown of the head lifting, lengthening, shoulder blades dropping down the back. Eyes are closed. Bring the awareness down into your feet and spread your feet wide. So we really feel that we're connecting down into the earth. And now as we breathe in, I just want you to think about drawing that energy from your feet, this prana energy. Draw it all the way up through the legs and bring it into your hara. So your hara is this center, sort of around just below the navel. And then exhale, just exhale that energy all the way down into the feet. Pressing into the feet, and then again, breathing in. Drawing out to the center, gathering that energy in the center. And then exhale. And just pushing all the way down into the feet. So just take a few more moments just to really feel yourself grounding. And working with the breath, be mindful of your breath. And just notice if your mind starts to wander away from this breath, from the feet coming up to your hara, your center, and then coming back down. If it does, just change and alter that, and so that you draw the awareness back into your breath. Now from here, we're going to breathe in, draw that energy all the way up past the hara, all the way up to the third eye. And then as we exhale, just all the way back to the center. So we breathe in, we draw that energy up through the feet, all the way up to the crown, up to the third eye. And then exhale, all the way down to your hara. So you've kind of drawn the energy up from your root, and you're kind of bringing that now into the center of the body. So you're gathering in that earth energy. Now from here, the next in breath, take it up above your head, above the crown of the head. Take it up and kind of feel that you're reaching up into the sky. And then as you exhale, bring that energy all the way back down into your hara. So from your feet, beyond your feet, breathe in. Through the body, all the way up. And exhale. So just bringing that energy from below the feet, all the way up above the crown of the head. And then exhale down to your center. And almost feel that we're drawing and we're kind of holding this energy in our center. I just want you to feel that center. Each time you breathe in past it and then back into it, just almost feel that you're drawing that light from the sky above us, right through that cloud today, and drawing that sunlight back down into your body, into your center. We feel that we're drawing light. And this is the time, autumn's turning now into winter. And the leaves just falling off the tree. And it's getting dark, dark in the mornings, dark at night. This is our time to really kind of store this energy within our body for these coming months. Just take a few more moments, just working with that breath, centering, grounding in this little standing meditation. Now we're going to bring some movement to our bodies as well at the same time as we breathe in, drawing the arms up. And we were talking the other day about the wind being the water element, so just think about your arms are pushing through water. And then as you exhale, letting those arms just come down nice and slowly. Feel that almost like you're pressing that energy down. Bring the hands into your center. And then breathe in and lifting those arms all the way up. Mindful of your breath, exhale, and just letting those hands come all the way down towards the earth.
I don't know that.
And then breathing in, lifting those arms all the way up towards the sky. And exhale, and letting those hands come all the way down. And then breathe in, lift those arms up towards the sky, bring those hands up above the head, linking those fingers, push those hands up, and just imagine that energy now, this Jiva Mukti energy from the feet, below the feet, drawing up through the body, up through the hands, stretching into the body, keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed. Just breathe here for a moment. Really connecting to that breath. Feel that breath warm in your body, bringing that energy into the belly center, into our solar plexus. Breathe in, lift in, exhale, letting those arms come all the way down. Take the feet slightly apart, not too far apart, maybe just a little bit more than hip width apart. And then we're going to take the hands and we're going to just start to swing those hands. Now soften into those knees so we don't feel that we're taking any strain into those knees. And we're just easing through. Breathe in, and as we tap, I want us to tap the kidneys, and the kidneys are at the back of, so you'd probably be able to reach the kidneys with the hands, and the kidneys are at the kind of underneath the ribs. So I was talking about the water, winter being the water, very much related to the water element. And then the kidneys are related to the water, the little energy, the channels within our body. Okay, so from here, let's just come up a little bit higher. Just tap in the shoulders, the other arm comes round behind. Just tap through the body, and the back hand can tap the kidneys still as it comes round the back. And just tap the shoulder, just creating a little bit of energy, a little bit of warmth through our core. Now let's take the arms a little bit higher, tapping the shoulders as we come through. Just make sure you're not getting dizzy. So if you feel a little bit dizzy, just you can keep the head looking forward and you can bring that movement in the arms. If you want to take it a little bit further, increase that stretch and rotation into the body. Just take those arms a little bit higher and take the arms a little bit further around, moving the body, keeping those knees soft. Let's take those arms up a little bit higher. So we're just stretching above the head now, creating that energy and that warmth in our body, hopefully, as we just spin through. And then taking the arms up high, right above the head, and just spinning. Get that lovely movement through the body. This is a nice one to do if you're pregnant as well. It just gets, if you've got a nice baby tucked up in your tummy, then this gives it a nice little stretch. So really getting that movement. Make sure that you're not kind of going through the knees. Now lifting the heels, really rotating round, and then come back. Let the hands come onto the shoulders. Bring one hand around the back, one hand on the shoulder. Tapping those kidneys. Stimulating the kidneys. This time of the year, we kind of slow down a little bit, so we kind of do need to stimulate parts of our body. And then let the hands just tap around the back, letting the arms hang down. And then from here, just tapping the sides of the hips. And then come back. Just allow yourself just gently to come back to a nice standing position. And just notice when no one wants to stop, everyone wants to carry on. Just notice how that feels in your body. Kind of like start to move your body up and just roll those shoulders here. Just rolling the shoulders all the way back and then just let them come forward. We're going to take the legs a little bit wider. Press down into the feet. We're going to breathe in, lift both arms up, stretch out into those fingers. As we exhale, we're going to take the right hand onto the right hip, and we're going to take the left hand down over to the right foot, and we're going to look up over that right shoulder. Just hold it here for a moment, and then we're going to breathe in and we're going to lift up. Stretch up into those hands, reaching out. From here, we're going to take the left hand onto the left hip, and the right hand comes down onto that left hand. Just breathe in. And exhale. Breathing in, lifting up, stretching up. Now, if you want, you can keep this right arm straight as you come down and take the left arm down and just reaching that right arm up towards the sky. Just be wary. It's not going to be like a normal triangle with that arm. The shoulder might be dropped a little bit just because the action of the movement of the body. And then breathe in, lift up from your core, stretch out from your core. Exhale and let the right hand come down to the left. And then breathe in. Now we're going to do it on the breath. So breathe in. Exhale. Fold forward at the core. Breathe in, lifting up. Exhale over to the other side. Stretch it down. And breathe in, lifting up. Exhale, coming down. And breathe in, lifting up. And exhale. And come down the other side. So a nice little twist. Breathing in, lifting up. Press the heels out. Come down. Just drop down into our goddess pose. Turning those palms up towards the sky and just holding it here. Drop a little bit deeper. And again, think about drawing that energy up into your hara. So we're going to breathe in, we're going to stretch up. Exhale, sink it down. Breathe in, stretch out, stretch into those fingers. Exhale, coming down. Breathe in, stretch up into those fingers. Exhale, and coming down. Now from here, we're going to let the right arm, just right hand come onto the right thigh. Press that left leg, the left heel out. Taking that left arm all the way over and holding it here. Roll the ribs round. And just breathe in here for a moment. Feel that lovely long stretch all throughout the whole of that side of the body. Drop into that right knee a little bit deeper. Rolling those ribs all the way up. And then exhale. Let that hand come all the way down onto the floor. Now bring the back knee down onto the floor. So we're going to let those toes come flat here. And just here in a nice deep lunge. So you can hold it here. So we're going to just hold this lunge for a little while. You can bring the hands on the inside if you want to and bend those elbows. Or you can bring those elbows all the way down. If you've got a bolster and you want to use a bolster, you can have it underneath this right leg. I will show you with a bolster. So if you want to use a bolster, you can have it here underneath that left thigh. And then just pulling that chest and the heart forward and just holding it here for a moment. Just finding that breath. You can have your hands on bricks here if you want to. Be wary of that left knee, right knee just dropping out to the side. Roll the shoulders down the back. And feel that stretch. And just notice where there's any tightness. And almost feel that you can direct from your hara that energy down into that area that needs it the most. So if that's your left thigh, then press that energy down into the left thigh. If it's your left shoulder, direct the energy up. If it's both, direct the energy out into both areas. Listen to the flow of the breath, directing the flow. Keeping that chest and heart coming forward. And just allowing the energy just to come right. So we're opening up into the hip joints. And because we've done some movement, we've created like lots of energy moving through the body. So now that oxygen can really come into the soft tissue, the fascia. And then from here, ease back, just straighten into that front leg. Let that left leg. Now, if you've got a bolster, you can just rest your calf on the bolster of that leg, that front leg, the right leg. And just hold it here just for a moment, not too long, not as long as we just had the last pose. As we breathe in, keeping that chest and the heart coming forward. And then bend into that knee. If you're using a bolster, just move the bolster out of the way, tuck the back toe under. Walk the hands round to the center. Bend the knees, drop the heels in. Breathe in, lifting up into your temple goddess pose. Just holding it here, keeping those shoulders dropping all the way down. Come down a little bit deeper. As we breathe in, reach up. Exhale. Bring those hands down, drop down into those legs. Breathe in, lifting up, work with the breath. Exhale. And breathe in, lifting all the way up. Exhale. Coming all the way down. Now from here we're going to turn the left foot, push the right heel out. We're going to take the left arm onto that left leg and take the right arm up and over. So we're in modified Parashvakonasana pose. So really keep that back leg nice and long. Be aware of the outside edge and make sure we're not rolling into the outside edge of that right foot. Roll the ribs open. Just holding it here with your breath. And a little bit deeper into that front knee. And then exhale, let that hand come all the way down. From here, we're going to bring the back knee down onto the floor. If you want to use a bolster, you can have it underneath the back leg, or you can have the bolster forward so you can rest the elbows on it, but we're coming down, so you might even be able to rest the thigh and the elbows on it if you've got a big bolster. And just coming down here, pulling the chest and heart forward, pressing into that left big toe knuckle, pulling the chest forward, relax the shoulders. Think about that energy and the breath here. So we think about that breath flowing. So whatever position you're in, just be mindful of the breath. Keeping that chest and heart drawing forward, softening into the shoulders. Pressing down into that left big toe knuckles, so that left knee is not just swinging out to the side. We're keeping it all nice and balanced. Feel that, be aware of those areas that need that prana. Feel the apana energy, apana vaya, just drawing you down into the earth. Feel that expansion from your heart center, udana vaya. Press down into that big toe. And as you breathe, I want you to really think about slowing that breath down. And really breathe right the way to the bottom of the lungs. As we breathe in, we really feel the chest and the heart right the way to the bottom of the lungs. And then as we exhale, breathe out. As you keep breathing out and out, and as you do, just notice that the abdominal wall is drawing back towards the spine as you completely breathe out and the lungs are empty. And then find that pause and then breathing in. And then from here, we're going to ease back. So just straighten into that left leg. And you can use your bolster again if you want to, just by resting the calf and letting the head come down. Breathing in, lengthening. And exhale. And releasing. And just be mindful of the breath here. And then bend that front knee. Slide the bolster out of the way. And then from here, tuck the back toe under. Push it all the way back, let the head come round to the centre. And just drawing the head all the way down towards the earth. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. Pull those heels in towards the centre. Breathe in, lifting all the way up. Stretch up into those fingers. Bring the palms together. Bring the thumbs together at the heart. Bring the feet together. Well, the hip width apart. And standing nice and tall. Just notice how the hips feel, how the legs feel here. Let the arms just drop all the way down by your sides. Keep those shoulders relaxed. And pressing down into the feet. We're going to take the weight into this right leg here. Really feel yourself dropping down into that right leg. And we're going to take this left leg and we're going to take hold of it and we're going to come into, I'm going to use my wall today, Vrikshasana. Oh, I've got really slippy trousers on today. I'm going to bring my foot down to my calf, lifting those arms all the way up. Let that knee come out to the side. Hold it here. And again, feel that energy from your, try not to have the foot on the knee, either above or below, or even if you're feeling really wobbly, you can take the toes onto the floor and the heel on the ankle, or just here. Take the arms wide and bring the thumb and the ring finger together. And then just feel yourself lifting those ribs off the hips. Think about that energy from your foot up to your hara, below your foot to your hara. From your hara to the crown of the head, above the crown. So you breathe in. As you exhale, drop it back down into your center. Feel that warmth and stability here. And then bring the palms back to the center. Bring the hands into the heart. And then placing that leg down onto the floor. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Take a moment here with your breath. Excuse me. And then really press, oh dear, press down into the left foot. Take in the right foot, and then we're going to take the right leg up. Whoops, Daisy, wobbly this morning. So if you do feel wobbly this morning, sometimes we can stay there forever. Sometimes we can't even get up there. So taking the foot against the thigh, thigh against the foot. Bring the hands into the heart. Lift those arms up above the head and stretching it here. And then taking the hands wide. Remember, you can take the thumbs onto the ring finger, and just holding it here, lifting and lengthening. Press the foot against the thigh against the foot or the calf or lower. Pull up through your core, lift up. Listen to the sound of the breath here. Find that balance with that energy. And then bring the hands together. Bring the thumbs into the heart and releasing that leg all the way down towards the earth. Breathing in, lift those arms all the way up. Feet slightly apart. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to fold forward. Bend those knees, soften through those knees. Take hold of those elbows. And just letting the head hang down here. And just holding onto those elbows. Maybe the knees are bent, just maybe swaying from side to side. I really feel that you're kind of releasing into that lower back. And as we open up that lower back, think about those little kidneys. So you're kind of like plumping up those kidneys underneath the back of the ribs there. Almost feel that you can breathe into those kidneys. Then from here, just letting the hands come down onto the floor. I'm going to move to the end of my mat, the long end of my mat. If you're on the long end, then that's fine, but if you're not, just moving around. Lifting the chest, and then from here, we're going to step back with that right leg, nice and deep with that right leg, dropping the hips and coming through. And just hold it here, just for a moment, roll the shoulders. And then exhale, drop that back knee down onto the floor. So we're going to just hold our dragon pose just for a little bit longer. But this time I want you to think about lifting up. And again, you can use your bolster if you want to use a bolster in any way at all. So just lifting up, rolling the shoulders. And if you want to, you can take the right arm up. You can even take the left hand round, just drop it round to the right hip and just hold it. Now we're going to hold it here for a little while, so you might feel that you need a bolster underneath this right thigh. So if you're working with a bolster underneath the right thigh, and we're just holding it here. Roll the chest up. Think about drawing that right arm back behind you and just lifting and lengthening. Now, usually we come into this, we call it crescent moon, don't we? Come into it as a little time, but we're just going to hold it here. So you don't have to have the arm. You can rest the hands onto the knee if you want to. So whichever version you want to do, or the arm can lift up. And just hold it here. Think about the breath. Be aware of the parts of your body that need a little bit of a rest. And breathe that energy into them. Feel that energy right from the back foot and the front foot, drawing up into your hara. And then up above your hand, your right hand. And then drawing that energy back into your center, the sun. Be mindful of your breath. And then exhale, letting that arm come all the way down. From here, we're going to just move back. So if you're using your bolster, you can use your bolster again. And just easing back, straightening into that front leg. Letting the head come down towards the knee. Now from here, we're going to slide back a little bit further. So just letting yourself sit back. Now this might not be very comfortable on this left knee, and if you have issues with that left knee, I just want you to maybe take the leg out to the side or bring it into like a Janisharasana so the thigh comes against the foot. If you're feeling okay there, that's fine. We're going to just reach forward and let the head come down. You can use a bolster or you can use anything. If you want to, you can take that foot to the outside if it feels more comfortable for you. So actually I should do it around the other way so you can see. So the right leg is extended out. You can sit, but otherwise you can sit in here if you want to and let that knee drop out. And you can even take a little blanket underneath your bottom there just to elevate the hips. And then we're just going to ease forward, but not too far forward. If you've got a bolster, you can even just rest your head on the bolster like that, or you can bring the bolster and then you can reach forward, resting on the bolster. Just be aware of the lower back here as you come forward into this forward flexion. Working with the breath, we're just going to hold it for a minute, that's all. Just think about lengthening, and just easing down. Good, lovely. And then from here, breathe in. and lifting all the way up. Just taking the bolster out of the way. So from here, we're going to just coming back, but we're going to, first of all, we're going to come back, just bend this right leg first of all, sitting on that left heel if possible, and just lifting up into Hamanan's prayer, and then lifting and lengthening, bring both arms up towards the sky, and exhale, bring the thumbs into the heart. Just hold it here for a moment, press down into the feet with the floor, lift through the body. Feel that lift up through the abdominals, and you can also, if you want to, you can just chant Ram, 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 Ram into your core. Just imagine that you're drawing that energy through. You can chant it out loud if you want to, or within, so it's Ram. And then exhale, push through, and then just come into standing forward bend. Hold onto those elbows. And just allow those elbows to draw down. And sway from side to side, so we're kind of loosening off through the hips. Just notice where you've worked in your body. And then from here, we're going to breathe in. And we're going to lift those arms all the way up towards the sky. Just lifting those arms up. Stretch out into those fingers. Exhale. Let those hands just come down. Some are steady here. And just hold it here. And then from here, we're going to breathe in. Lift both arms all the way up towards the sky, stretching up into those arms. Exhale, just coming forward, letting the hands come all the way down towards the earth, and have your bolsters and things around as well. Then from here, we're going to step back with the right leg. So step back nice and deep. And the left leg is bent here. So from here, we're going to bring that back knee down onto the floor. From here, we're going to lift up. So you can stay here if you want to. You can lift up. You can have your bolster underneath that thigh. Ooh, it's a daisy, wobbly this one. I can have that bolster underneath that right thigh. So from here, we're going to lift the left arm up. Take the right hand round behind the back and hold it here. So we're going to hold it here just for a couple of minutes. So if you wanted to have a bolster, then you can have a bolster underneath that thigh, that right thigh. Left arm extended. And just hold it here. Just breathing into your center. You're kind of gathering that energy into your core, all the way up past your hand, past the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, drawing it back, and be mindful of your breath, be mindful of where in your body you need this energy at this moment. And then allowing that to come into it. Feel that tailbone dropping down. Make sure you're not gripping with those front toes here. Shoulder blades relaxing. Just a nice mindful breath. Exhale from here, we're going to let that hand come down. Then from here you can roll that bolster forward if you're using a bolster. And then just straightening into the front legs and letting yourself just release over that front leg. You can walk the hands forward. You can let the head come down towards the knee if you want to. It's entirely up to you. And just stretching through. Chest and heart coming forward. Rolling those shoulders back past those ears. Then from here, if you've got a bolster, just move it out of the way. Sit back onto that right heel. Now you can, I'm going to just sit on the inside, so that right calf kind of like rolls out to the side. And I've got a blanket underneath my buttocks, and more underneath my left buttock actually, so that kind of just brings me level. And then you can bring the bolster, you can have the bolster here and you can just come forward, or if you feel that you can come all the way down, just coming forward over your bolster. It doesn't matter how far over you are. I just want you to breathe nice and slowly, because we're only holding this pose just for a minute. And then breathe in and lift in all the way up. And so we're going to release both legs forward, sitting now. So I'm still sitting on my blanket here, which is quite nice. So my hips are just slightly elevated. And again, I can feel I can lift up from my core. So I've got like an active lift through my belly here, through my chest and my heart. So we have the legs out to the side, so we're going to bring them in the other way now. So we're going to just bring them in to the inner thigh. So we're going to start with the right leg, bending it in. So that's the leg we just had out. And again, we're going to come forward over this left leg here. Now, if you want, you can use your bolster again. You can have your bolster just over the leg, and you can just ease over, or you can just come down and stretching out over that leg. And it doesn't matter where you are on that journey of that stretch down towards the legs. Just breathe in and just working through whatever feels right for you. Remember, you've got a bolster there, so if you want to use the bolster, you can just allow yourself to surrender into that bolster. Or if you've got a cushion or a pillow, whatever you're using. And we're just going to hold it here for a few moments. Just breathe. Breathing in, lengthening, exhale, releasing. You don't have to be right down on that leg. You can just be wherever it takes you. And then from here, breathing in and lifting all the way up. Move that leg, move the bolster out of the way, extend that leg out. Just take a moment here. Notice how the legs feel, and again, lifting actively. This is our Dandasana, our staff pose here. So we really feel yourself lifting up through the body. And then from here, we're going to take the left leg, and we're going to bring that left leg in. Same thing, we're going to come over that right leg, but you can use a bolster here if you want to, or a cushion or something. And just think about each time you exhale, just breathing into those joints, releasing into those joints. You can use a bolster in any way that supports you. And just folding down over that leg. Focus on being mindful of that breath. And notice if your breath is starting, if your mind is starting to wander away from your breath, and then just drawing it back into your heart, into your breath. And then from here, we're going to breathe in and just very gently lifting up, moving the bolster out of the way if you're using it. Bringing those legs forward, sitting tall, relaxing those shoulders, turning those toes up towards the sky. And just breathe in here. So the last two poses we've done have been very much forward bending and opening up into the kidney meridians here. So we're going to carry on with that, but we're going to do a back bend, kind of counter pose. So you're going to need some cushions or a block, or this bolster is actually a little bit too big for this. So I'm going to take a couple of cushions and maybe a blanket. Or actually, I've got a thinner block for bolster, so I'm going to take a thinner bolster that you can use. That's kind of quite like a firm pillow. And then from here, I'm going to just pop my bottom up onto my bolster, and I've got a bolster and a blanket here. And then I'm going to drop the chest down, and then I just straighten the legs. Now you can have the arms by the sides, or if you want to, you can take the arms over the head here. And you can have blocks underneath those hips. So just making sure, if you feel uncomfortable, then just adjust and move. I wasn't quite in the right place. So it's not in the lower back. It's definitely under the sacrum. So behind sort of your buttocks are on it. And it's not in the back. So this is our bridge pose. I really rather like this pose. And as we lie here, you can feel the whole of your chakra system being activated here from your root Muladhara, moving up into those hips, Svatisthana, Manipura, our solar plexus, just above the hara, Anahata, your heart stays unstuck. Visuddhi, we kind of bring that chin in and we're kind of palpating with the breath into Visuddhi chakra, our throat, and then up into the third eye, and then up into the crown of the head. And as we breathe, just feel that energy move through the body, almost flowing with that water element. And just hold it here. Now, if it feels uncomfortable at any time, move out of it. But with our yin yoga, we try and kind of come into a pose, making sure that we are comfortable in that pose and then staying in that pose. Focus on the breath. And then from here, lifting those arms up. Bring those arms all the way down. Just take the hands kind of like onto the hips, bend one leg, then bend the other leg. Just notice how that feels, because that's quite a strong back bend, even though it's quite a passive back bend. As you say that, you can probably feel that. And then just bring one knee in towards the chest and bring the other knee in towards the chest. Take the hands down by the sides on your bolster and your block and let those feet just push up towards the sky. Make sure that you're not kind of pushing too much into the back between the shoulders and into the back of the neck. So try to make sure that you're balanced there. And press those feet up towards the sky as a little counter pose. And then we're going to move very gently. So we're going to bring the right knee, hug the right knee in towards the chest. Take that left leg down and just take the heel onto the floor if you feel that's appropriate. So the right leg is in, the left leg, you probably feel, oh, that floor feels a bit further away than I would have thought. And then breathe in, bring both legs back to the center. Pull the left leg in and taking that right leg down. You might find that one leg comes down easier than the other. And then breathing in, bring the right leg, so almost like slow motion. And the left leg comes down to the earth. And breathing in, coming up, swapping the legs over. Just holding onto the left leg, the right leg drops down. And then coming back. And bring in that left leg. And just one more on each side. So extending, taking that right leg through and down. And then come through, right leg in and left leg comes down. And then bring both knees in towards the chest. Then taking the feet down onto the floor, just press into the feet, lift the bottom up, move the bolster or blocks or cushions, whatever you're using. Take the hips and kind of pull the buttocks down towards the earth so you lengthen into that lower back. You can feel that lovely length in the lower back. And the neck is nice and long, and then just hug those knees in towards the chest. And then just circling those knees, feeling the hips, massaging through the sacrum as we roll through here. And then back in the opposite direction. And then from here, just lifting the head up towards the knees and then having a little rock up into a seated position. So from here, we're going to come over, so we're going to come all the way over onto our bellies. So we've gone from our backs onto our bellies. And again, you can use, grab the bolster here, you can use your bolster here as well if you want to. And we're going to come into seal pose. So it's kind of like a cobra. But what I'm going to do is I've just, actually you probably can't, I don't know if you can see that because I'm kind of all similar colours. So let me use the orange one. So I'm going to take my bolster or a cushion or something, and then I'm going to just place it underneath my ribs. So I am supported. Now you can do this without the bolster if you want to. And then taking the hands forward, so you can just do this by holding, using your arms to lift you up, or you can take this bolster. So it's quite a strong back bend. Press into the hands, let the feet feel nice and soft. Pull the shoulders down the back. And then just exhaling here, softening, looking forward. And again, think about that breath through the body, Think about that energy and almost like your own internal sun at your hara. Just holding it here. Just for a few breaths, a few more breaths. Just being aware, make sure that you're not pressing down into those hands and thinking of the three elements of our yin practice. So we come into a pose, we hold the pose. We try not to move. Focus on your breath. Notice, especially if you're using a bolster, you'll feel your ribs pressing against that bolster as you breathe. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed so we're not putting too much weight into those shoulders. And then exhale. Just letting yourself release down. Bring the hands back slightly. And then we're going to bend those knees and we're going to just come down into child's pose. And you can use that bolster if you want to in child's pose. Otherwise, just bringing the knees in and slowly letting yourself just drop down. And you can extend those arms out in front of you, or you can take the hands round to the feet. And as we hold it here, just feel that breath into the back of the body. Feel that prana lifting all the way, kind of coming up over the top and over to the crown. Breathe out into the back space of the body. And then from here, just rolling up through the body. Rolling up nice and slowly through the back. Just sitting tall. Just be aware if you don't like sitting in this position. So from here, we're going to, you can use the bolster if you want to. We're going to come over, just take the hips over to the right hand side. Cross the ankles. And then we can, so there's different variations of this. So you can take the hands and just bring the left hand over and just hold it here. If you want to go a little bit deeper and you've got something for a support, you don't even need to use the support. You can just come down, let the elbows come down and turn the head so you look over. So you can do this without a bolster if you want, but it's quite nice with a bolster. So you just come through and it's kind of like a rotation, but back into that seal kind of pose. So you either have a bolster underneath the body or just bringing the elbows down into our deer pose. Just letting the feet and the right left ankle cross over the left foot. And each time you exhale, just feel the twist a little bit deeper. And then from here, I'm going to breathe in, lift in, all the way up, come back to the center, come up onto those knees, just centering, grounding through the middle here, if that feels all right on those knees. And then we're going to come over to the other side. So we're going to take the knees over to the left, right leg's on top. I kind of cross, I bring my left foot there and I just cross the right ankle over, so shin ankle over the foot, the instep. Then from here, we're going to take the hands round, and you can use a bolster here underneath your body if you want, or you can not. You can use cushions. It's entirely up to you. And just coming down. If you're using the bolster, just letting the head looking in the opposite direction to the right hand. You look over to the left hand. Making sure you're warm. And each exhalation, just allowing yourself to release. Be aware of your breath, be mindful of your breath in your body. In yin yoga, it's very easy for your mind, because in restorative yoga, you can really release into it. In yin yoga, it's actually an active stretch through your body. So you have an active stretch, so you can feel the stretch, and that's when your mind kind of wanders more. So if it's wandering, just think about bringing it back, drawing it back into your breath, into your hara, the center of your body, and almost feel that that's your internal sun, and you're expanding that sun all the way out into your body, especially in these dark wintry days. So just half a minute more in this pose. And then from here, we're going to lift all the way up, taking your time. Coming into a seated position, crossing those legs. If you want, you can elevate the hips on a blanket or a block or a bolster. Turn those knees out, roll those shoulder blades down the back. So just sitting nice and tall. Come back to that image of drawing that energy up from the root, through the hara, up through the crown of the head, keeping those shoulders relaxed. And then as you exhale, all the way down into the earth. Just taking one hand on the hara, one hand on the heart space. And as we breathe, feel that breath into your center, feel that breath into your heart center. Feel the breath and focus on that breath. Feel it underneath your hands. Feel that warmth underneath your hands. And the next time we breathe in, really feel yourself lifting, lengthening through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, drop that chin all the way down towards the chest, lengthening to the back of the neck. Jaladhara Bandha, so breathing all the way out. Jala is another word for water as well, like our water reservoirs, so they're energy reservoirs. And then releasing the head and breathe in. Again, exhale, breathe in all the way out. Feel that navel coming all the way back towards the spine as you let the head release down. And then releasing, lifting the head, breathe in. And again, last time, exhale, Jaladhara Bandha. Just breathing out, letting that chin drop down. And then lifting the head, breathe in. Just dropping both hands down. Take a moment here. And then from here, we're going to come down into Shavasana. So taking a moment just to drop into Shavasana. If you want, you can have the bolsters. We've got bolsters around, so you can have the bolster underneath your knees, or you can even have the bolster underneath the chest and maybe a cushion, so you're kind of elevating the chest and the heart center. So make sure you're warm and you feel settled on the earth. Just dropping your body down, making yourself nice and comfortable. So as we turn into winter now, and as I said earlier on here, the leaves are falling off the trees. The days are getting shorter and the cold, frosty mornings, and just whisper that winter is on its way. In many traditions, the point when we enter the darkest phase of the year is seen as a new beginning rather than an ending. And we pass through the darkness to be reborn into the light at the winter solstice. And you and I, before being born into the light of the world, we began life in darkness of our mother's womb. And an oak tree started out as an acorn buried in the darkness of the soil. And each day begins and ends in darkness, at sunrise, at sunset. And every month before the new moon is reborn into the night sky, there's a period of darkness when the moon is not visible. So it's the same as when autumn turns to winter, and we're entering the darkest phase of the year until the sun is reborn at the winter solstice on the 21st. And in the same way as the darkness of the night gives us rest and dream time, so too the dark half of the year gives us this opportunity to pause, to rest and rejuvenate. Just as the oak tree stays alive over the winter by stripping itself of the leaves and using almost no energy, we can look the opportunities during this autumn to winter period just to enter a place of stillness and just simply be present in the moment. So although this period is not a great time for action, it's a perfect time to plan and incubate ideas. And then, like a bulb resting in the soil over the winter, you'll be ready the next spring to send up new green shoots. So as we lie here, I just want you to picture now what you'd like to get out into the world over this next growing season, when you'll be able to surface when the spring comes round again. Just take a few moments now. Just resting here, rejuvenating here, and letting go here. So from here, we're going to take a breath in through the nose. Just feel your body energize as you draw that energy down into your heart center, into your hara. And very gently bring some movement to your fingers, to your toes. Bring the knees in towards the chest. And just rocking those knees from side to side. And let those knees drop over to the right hand side. And then just very slowly in your own time, just rolling up into a seated position, taking your time. Sitting tall. Breathe in, lifting those arms all the way up towards the sky. Stretching, lengthening. Exhale, let the hands come all the way down just to your heart, just below the navel. Breathe into that center. Exhale. Release. Bring the hands into the heart, lifting the head. And thank you very much for your practice this morning. Om Shanti.